Welcome back. The National Human Rights Commission has vowed to unravel the circumstances that led to the death of some prisoners at the Abakaliki prisons in Ebonyi State. At the inauguration of a special investigation panel on the alleged extrajudicial killing, the Executive Secretary of the NHRC, Professor Bem Angwe, says preliminary investigations show the incidents, which occurred on August 19th, appears to have been a riot and not an attempt to jailbreak.
Apart from the Commission monitoring the news of this incident from the press, the Commission had also been inundated with complaints and calls for investigation into these alleged extrajudicial killings from members of the general public, particularly members of the civil society organizations, lawyers, and other spirited and well-meaning Nigerians. In view of this, and in fulfillment of its mandate to protect and enforce the rights of Nigerians, the National Human Rights Commission decided to commence an immediate investigation into the alleged human rights violations.
In other news, the President has reiterated his commitment to developing the manufacturing sector of the economy as a way out of the current recession. He made the promise in Abuja at a meeting with members of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, which is aimed at suggesting measures to diversify the economy.
President Muhammadu Buhari and some of his cabinet ministers, as well as indigenous captains of industries, they are all seated in this hall to discuss how to improve the manufacturing sector of the economy. The event is the annual meeting of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, organized to take stock of the sector in the last 1 year. Both the president of the association, Mr. Frank Udemba, and the president Dangote Group's Alhaji Aliko Dangote list some challenges facing the sector.
High interest rate and lack of long-term funding for the manufacturing sector. 3, the prolonged review of the Export Expansion Grant EEG, which has been going on since 2014, and the non-implementation of the outstanding NDCC.
Government should come out with a comprehensive package of incentives and reliefs that addresses the issues of high entry costs, absence of low interest funding, long gestation periods, which that's what it is in agriculture, access to land, which is very important, is not in the hands of federal government but in the hands of the state, availability and cost of imported inputs, and absence of guaranteed commodity prices.
After listening to the challenges listed by the manufacturers, President Muhammadu Buhari reiterates his commitment to improve the sector.
The manufacturing sector is well positioned to be a major driver of Nigeria's economic growth because of our immense natural resources and the entrepreneurship spirit of Nigerians. Government is therefore focused on implementing necessary policies and strategies aimed at unleashing the full potentials of the manufacturing in Nigeria.
Other issues such as steady electricity supply and reduction of company income tax are some of the areas the manufacturers are also seeking government intervention. They argue that the manufacturing sector is capable of lifting the nation out of economic recession.
Let's switch lanes now to talk business. Here's
You first. First Bank.
Thank you for staying with us. Welcome to Business News. The president of the African Development Bank, Dr. Adesina, today concluded his first one-week official visit to Nigeria. In an exclusive interview with Channels Television in Abuja, Dr. Adesina says high interest rates could only attract hot money that will hurt the country's economy in the long run.
The economy today, I think the interest rates that Nigeria has today is way too high. You can't have those kind of high interest rates and come out of a recession and be able to incentivize the rest of the economy. You need the rest of the economy to be healthy, including, by the way, the small and medium-sized enterprises to be able to create jobs. Now, I understand, why, from the monetary policy side, that you need to be able to have a contractionary monetary policy in which you keep a high interest rate, which is supposed to actually allow you to get in, foreign capital inflows with the forex, which the country absolutely needs. But my view is that we have to look at what types of capital inflows are you going to have. You're more likely with those kind of high interest rates to attract a lot of hot money that will come into the economy. They probably will go, into short-term investments. They will probably go into debentures. They probably go into all kinds of financial derivatives and equity instruments and so on, but not necessarily into the real sectors that you're trying to grow.
President of the African Development Bank, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina. Now, women entrepreneurs have been advised to take advantage of the various socio-economic intervention plans of the federal government to enhance their businesses. This message was delivered today at the Africa Women Innovation and Entrepreneurship Forum by the Minister of Women Affairs, Senator Aisha Al-Hassan. At the meeting, women also had the opportunity of networking with successful entrepreneurs. Our business correspondent, Temple Ashaju, reports.
Analysts often say that women-owned businesses are overlooked or undervalued. To break down these barriers, women empowerment is recommended as a way out. At this second edition of the Africa Women Innovation and Entrepreneurship Forum, speakers offer a range of solutions to fellow women.
The 21st century is an employment-unfriendly century. Only people with multiple skills will survive. The best avenue to explore the survival potentials of multiple skills is through enterprise.
The Minister of Women Affairs, Senator Aisha Al-Hassan, explains the socio-economic intervention plans of the federal government.
Some of these laudable interventions include the Women's Fund for Economic Empowerment, WOFI, implemented in collaboration with the Bank of Industry, and the Business Fund for Women, BUDFA, to provide soft loans for female entrepreneurs. The Growing Women and Girls in Nigeria GWIN program was also designed to support young girls and women in targeted sectors of the economy.
Next is the women empowerment programs of the Lagos State government, as well as motivational entrepreneurship perspectives from leading women.
The Dangote Foundation is collaborating with the state government through the Dangote Micro Grant Scheme for women in Lagos State.
Be disciplined to plan. Be disciplined to persevere, to communicate, to lead, to take responsibility.
One of the available interventions for women is the 220 billion naira MSME fund floated by the central bank. Women have only accessed less than 5% of the fund.
The conditions were too stringent. That was why women could not afford or could not access the funds. But now we are talking with the central bank, and Mr. Vice President has graciously too intervened on behalf of Nigerian women. So I think we are heading somewhere.
The Africa Women Innovation and Entrepreneurship Forum remains dogged about the societal benefits of women-led enterprises, a mission that targets the Global Sustainable Development Agenda. Temple Ashaju, Channels Television News.
At the local bourse, main indicators swung back into positive territory today, but by a slim margin, following rebounds, particularly in the oil and gas sector. For more on today's trading figures, here's Millicent Walker.
Nigeria's stock market bounced back slightly by 0.04% at the close of Thursday's trading session on price advance as well as recovery from some mid-cap financial and industrial equities. 25 gainers were led by Wema Bank, Law Union and Rock, and O&O in the top 3 category, while Ashaka Cement, GlaxoSmithKline and Fitson Healthcare were in the lead of 18 losers. The day's transactions yielded a turnover of 365.35 million shares worth 2.09 billion naira, all traded in 2,905 deals. Continental Reinsurance pulled more than half of the overall shares volume turnover, followed by International Breweries and FCMB. And that's the stock market report. I'm Millicent Momoka.
Very many thanks, Millicent. Now let's flip over to the global markets, where major stocks closed in broadly mixed sentiment. While the Dow Jones closed down triple digits after Deutsche Bank hit an all-time low. Let's check out the numbers. That's Business News Tonight. Thank you for staying with us. I'm Imana Amawe. Amarachi.
You first. First Bank.
Thanks. Thanks, Imana. The government has been asked to support the growth of entrepreneurship in Nigeria, especially in access to finance. This was canvassed at the second policy dialogue series on entrepreneurship organized by the Faith Foundation in Lagos. The speakers at the event also discussed ways of sustaining small and medium-scale businesses in Nigeria.
At a point when the nation is confronted with the challenges of economic recession, the call to strengthen entrepreneurial drive in Nigeria cannot have come at a better time. And this is the idea behind the second policy dialogue series on entrepreneurship put together by the Faith Foundation, an organization committed to fostering the wealth creation by promoting business development in the small and medium-scale sector.
We are now working with key public, private and development sector partners to push for certain changes within the tax regulatory space, particularly in relation to MSMEs.
With so much potentials in terms of large market and labor force, access to finance, inconsistent policies, lack of enabling environment and capacity building appears the major constraints in Nigeria. One of the facilitators gives an illustration of Nigeria's entrepreneurial ecosystem.
When we talk about capacity, it's not taking people to training schools. It's coaching, it's mentoring business owners to build a successful business.
The forum breaks into an interactive session among the panelists, entertaining questions from the audience.
Really work on regulation. Yes, that's what I'm doing.
There are so many tax reliefs now. Okay, like I want to take an example of.
Then the incentives for starters of small-scale businesses in Nigeria, and what should be the next line of action for growth of entrepreneurs in Nigeria. Bello Mahmoud responds.
We have a desk in all our offices in all sectors of the Federation, whereby you can go and do it yourself. That means you have cut the cost of paying a lawyer to do it for you. And then we are getting 50% reduction in the filing fees.
What's going to now happen is we'll finalize the report, publish it on our website, and then now start to engage with key public and private sector partners who will focus on 2 or 3 thematic areas that have come up from this.
The task is now for policymakers to go back to the drawing board to fashion out ways of easing the entrepreneurial ecosystem, especially for aspiring business owners.
Next on the news at 10, Super Eagles duo Kelechi Iheanacho and Alexi will be nominated for prestigious Golden Boy Award. Please stay with us.